Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a guest named Patrick and we're going to discuss a magnitude of topics. But first I'm just going to introduce him and let him, tell his story for a quick minute. So, hey Patrick, how you doing, buddy?
How's it going? How's it going, Matt? How you
Good,
doing? I'm
good,
doing
thanks.
all right. Doing all right.
Good, good. So basically we found each other on a group, a mutual group together, right? And we discussed different things, modalities that worked for us and probably stuff that helps other people too. Science backed up based information that you know can be utilized readily for anybody and everybody. But uh, just a little background history on yourself, there, Patrick. Like your health journey from where it started to now, if you want to talk about that.
Sure. Essentially, it's kind of a long journey, brother.
That's
Long
okay, man.
journey. So, no, it's fine. I'm just trying to like understand. I'm like, where should I start? Where's the beginning? Like, I mean, basically, um, we'll explain this. So, I was running my second farm. I was running an 8 acre farm. Um, 8 acre farm. I had several different animals, pigs, a lot of pigs, chickens, quail, different birds. Um, I hadn't started killing just very many of them, luckily, just yet. But so I started right then. So then I was doing like I was like working out like once a week at least, every like couple days at least, trying to take care of myself, whatever. I was probably like 215, 210 weight wise, and like I was running like a mile like every other day. Like I was trying to be like more fit and cut, we'll say. So I was trying, and like I actually joked with my friends and stuff because I had a tow truck business. I had another I had Forsaken Sons for fraternal order, which was what it was kind of like an MC motorcycle club. Like, but we weren't old guys. They were younger than me. I'm 34. They were probably most of them were younger than me, around my age, or younger. And like, no one, no one like it wasn't about like, like riding bikes or anything like that. So we threw events. We did events throwing like EDM dance music events, stuff like
Hmm.
that. And so I was doing that at a tow truck too as well, fixing cars, stuff like that. I have a degree in that. Anyways, doing all that, and then I wrecked my motorcycle, and I wrecked my motorcycle, and I have a dent here in my skull. I got a TBI. Should have got like a brain injury or whatever. Broke my neck in three spots.
Holy
Three
smokes.
spots. Got crazy. Backbone in five spots. Five spots in my back, six ribs, three on my left side, three on my right side. I still can't feel half my left hand from my ulnar nerve, my left arm, my funny bone, my shoulder, my whatever, my elbow here. So I can barely feel like halfway feel kind of barely my left hand here. I got left eyeball surgery. I had hernia surgery.
Holy.
Pretty rough. I've had two right knee surgeries. It's been rough trying to walk. I just got out of my left knee surgery because I had reconstruction on the PCL and MCL. So I got two cadavers in my left knee, which is a dead person essentially,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a right knee cadaver too. So I have three different cadavers. So it's been a long journey. So I wrecked my motorcycle when I was running my farm. I wrecked my motorcycle. I have a Gixxer 1000. I wrecked that. Should have died. I was in the hospital, going through all this therapy and whatnot. I was in like a 6 to 8 day coma, sedated coma, medicated coma for like 6 to 8 days, and then once I got through that, I went through therapy and whatnot. I don't remember about 2 months worth, so I still don't recall about 2 months. And this is 5 years ago, about 5 years actually. Um, and then went through therapy and stuff, and then I moved back to northern Wisconsin to Eau Claire, to where my sister lives, and was kind of like going to therapy and whatnot, whatever, walk and talk, and basically that therapy. Oh, what's going on here? My computer's messing up. Where'd you go? You still
Oh, I can still
connected?
hear you, buddy. I think it was just a quick glitch.
Yeah, something's wrong with my computer. Oh, let's see. Where are you at? Um, showing that you're there, but we're
Mhm.
still connected. We're
Yeah, I
still
can still hear
connected.
it.
I
Can you
hear
see
it.
me?
Anyways, I'm not sure. I can't see anything. No, it's just saying Zoom meeting, whatever. I'm more. Not quite sure what's going on here. Uh, but can you see me or
Yep.
you can? Okay.
Yep.
Well, so regardless, if I can't see you, whatever, we'll just continue on. Anyway, so where was I at? So I wrecked the motorcycle. I was in the hospital. I had a small chance of survival. They gave my parents, my mom, anyways, my family and whatnot. They gave me a 15 to 20% chance of survival. If I did live, I should be mentally retarded or in a wheelchair, if not both together, and I'm actually able to walk and talk just fine somehow.
All right.
So quite crazy, quite crazy. Um, so essentially, so the point being here, the health. Okay, so basically, then like, so having going through that, that's really pissing me off. Not be able to see. Anyways, not having going through that situation to where like I had to raise my awareness. I had to consciously raise my awareness of like who I am and how I'm thinking and how I'm breathing, how I'm like walking, how I'm talking because I couldn't. I had horrible double vision before I got my eyeball surgery. Bad double vision. I couldn't swallow right. Actually, had issues swallowing. I got a scanner thing done to where like I swallowed I swallowed food with a certain type of like chemical or something in it that actually would scan it and make it bright, so that they could tell like when I was actually like coughing or I was actually inhaling this food.
Jeez, that's
That
wild.
was a very interesting time. um, so and then basically, so it's hard to wrap all this up here, but essentially then that raised my awareness so much because like having to, bro, like having to constantly think about how I'm thinking about, like I literally had to think about how I'm thinking about. So it was like I had to put myself in a third person perspective and
Yeah,
really
become the
like,
observer, eh?
yeah, I had to like, what's that?
Pretty much become the observer. Like, yeah, it's your subconscious, your conscious, and then the observer. So that's probably how you felt, kind of outside the box, looking in on both those parallel scenarios,
Absolutely.
and trying to redefine yourself, maybe, eh? That's like a crazy story, dude.
Absolutely. And by doing that, bro, like by having to do that, like, and having to like relearn, I put myself in that third person perspective and have that macro lens view, that far out
Mm-hmm.
view. Like what it did was it made me raise my awareness. It made me super aware of every thought, every movement, every, because I had to be. I literally had to like, I got I got beat up, I got smacked. So like I got hit hard. I got dent near my skull.
Mm-hmm.
But so I really had to raise my awareness and really like understand, who I am, what I am, like who is this guy? Who is this? Who is this guy in this meat suit? This vector, this satellite, this human flesh satellite meat suit thing. Who is this guy? So I had to like put him aside and make sure. And the thing is, when you like Matt, it's Matt, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I thought Matt. So
No
I'm
worries.
just, I want to be sure before I say it like six times. So yeah, so again, that's part of my like my awareness. I have to do like when it comes to like my recollect, my memory and whatnot. Like I have to do certain like acts, which I do nowadays, certain things over and over for repetitiveness on purpose to like ingrain them into my head, which what I call like trails, which
Mm-hmm.
really are NLP, your neuro linguistic programming within your brain,
That's right.
whatever your control. So,
Neuroplasticity, right? Like it's the brain is so malleable and it's able to repair itself. And I don't know if you're aware of
right.
that EMDR application that you can find on YouTube. If not, I'll send a link to you, buddy. And maybe even put it in the comment or description box below later too. That's going to help rewire your brain and get it to fire the way it's supposed to and make those connections happen again too, eh?
Beautiful.
Yeah, buddy.
Man, I don't know why like it's showing me that like my video has a light next to it, not showing me the
Hmm.
screen for some reason. I don't know.
I'm
I
not
have a whole bunch of
sure.
windows.
If you go up at the top right border, it should say view, and there's speaker, gallery, immersive, and of course exit full screen. I got mine on full. Uh, if you click on the far left with the green shield, then you can go to
No, it's
settings.
not showing me here. I want it's Zoom United, learn more, whatever, and it's just yeah, learn more screen. That's all it's showing me. But
Hmm.
but my I don't know. It's crazy how my video is on though. So I know
Weird.
like my video is working, but I can't see it.
Yeah, I can
Anyways,
see it, but
bro, it
uh,
doesn't matter. Regardless if I can see myself, it's not doesn't matter. It's just I guess it sucks kind of not being able to see you, you know.
I know, right?
Then I'm literally talking to a screen, white screen
It's
instead
kind
of
of like
you.
talking on the phone, though, when you think about it.
True, that's kind of what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
But bro, so what happened was it's hard. My story is like hard to. I attempt to wrap it up. Like I try to like crush it down like in smaller segments, but like to try to like say the whole thing. That's kind of why like when you ask me, I'm like, well, where should I start? When I said that, is because like normally when I get asked about it or whatever, like especially in a day to day life or something, like it's never like I'm gonna sit down and actually explain people like because it takes me a minute to really explain all this.
Yeah.
So but like okay, so raising my awareness. Essentially, what I had to do is I got smacked and I got beat up, and and then I had to relearn the self. I had to relearn the self, and having me having to relearn the self. I put the self in third person perspective, and what that did was it allowed me to have complete awareness of who is this guy and how has he been running his meat suit here for how fucking long. It was like 29 9 30 29 years, I think, my accident. But who is this guy? So I had to like literally put him in third person perspective and like understand who he was, how he thinks, how he walks, how he talks. And like by doing that, it really like it made me understand. Like I'm like, man, I remember these animals I had to kill. And like, when you kill an animal like firsthand, it's actually you. I grew up in northern Wisconsin.
Hmm.
When it's you firsthand killing the animal, you really like. It's not like you're like buying like some steak at the store. It's completely different. Like you actually like feel for the animal. You're like, oh man, like I didn't want to take that animal's life, especially like uh, on my farm. We bought four pigs. The one pig, Bertha, she was like 350 pounds, and I raised her for about 2 months, and purposely because we had like a 400 person a man event the next day or in 2 months. It was called a Forsaken Sons pig roast, and what it was obviously we were smoking that pig for like 8 to 10 hours. So it was my job the night before to kill it like 12 hours prior so we could smoke it. And like I was the one taking care of it for 2 months. And like I really like I loaded my gun and whatnot. And like I thinking back about it, like I had to get pretty drunk and to actually do it, and like to where I felt more comfortable doing it. And like really, what it was like, if you have an animal for 2 months and you're taking care of it every single day, watering it, whatever, giving it water, giving it food, taking care of it, like you really start to grow empathy for that animal, and
Most
like
definitely.
you really start feeling for it, and you're like, and then when it's actually you that has to kill it, you're like,
You don't
man,
want to, man.
yeah,
I
yeah,
definitely
bro.
don't.
Yeah, you're like, you feel bad about having to do it. So like, and so basically, um, what the normal psychology or whatever, how the brain normally thinks is that's a good way to put it. How the brain normally thinks is it tries to escape whatever thought it doesn't want to deal with. So
Hmm.
it tries to
Suppresses
run
it.
right, it tries to run this way or that way quickly. So like instead of having to deal with, oh, you just shot the pig and you just killed it or whatever, and like you killed it or whatever, and think about that like later on in life, like whatever, like a year or two later or whatever it was, a year later, when you kill the pig, and or when you wreck your accident, you have like the recollection to like understand that again, instead of like sweeping that thought quickly under the rug to get rid of it, like, oof, I don't want that thought, let me think about this happiness over here. No, instead of actually doing that, which you do, it's normally what we do. Instead of doing that, what I did was, because I had to, and I did this really because almost dying and having to, relearn the self and having awareness of every thought I was having and doing, I grabbed a hold of that thought. And so instead of like, while I was healing, instead of like quickly running away from that thought, I grabbed it and I was like, why did I feel really bad about killing that pig? I'm like, oh, I'm like, huh. So I thought about it. I'm like, okay, why did I? Okay. So I took care of it for like 2.5 months. Gave it water, food every day. She was beautiful. She was like 350 pounds. She was always like a little roly poly, like rolling on the grass and stuff, and like whatever. Like the dogs love to play with her and like bark at her and like chase her around. It was funny and like I'm like, man, like, so I thought about all that. I'm like, the love, I thought about the
Right.
love. And I'm like, oh, and then it really got to me. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, and there was more to it, and like, it got to me, brother. And I was like, I can't kill another animal again. I'm like, I came to that recollection basically. Like, I'm like, that, whatever that understanding. I'm like, I can't do it unless I'm like, okay, but it's hard. Understand this though, bro. Like before when I was running my farm, and the Forsaken Sounds and all these guys and stuff, like I was referring to myself as a meatitarian. I'm like, bro, I eat so much meat. I'm like, call me a meatitarian. I'm like, makes the most sense. I mean, so it was funny, but it still is, but it's different now. But so I started to like understand me killing animals and whatnot, instead of like sweeping that thought away. I'm like, man, I can't kill an animal again. So at that time, like for like probably around 3 weeks, I would say, give her 3 4 weeks. I like almost starved, man. I was like hungry all the time because I didn't know not how to like eat animal products. I had no idea. Like I never met like a vegan or vegetarian or anyone that like told me anything about animals or whatever. Like, I
Yep.
I grew up in northern Wisconsin, like killing animals, eating meat, like that was the thing.
It's a norm, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, and then I went down to Chicago. Where are you from?
Nova Scotia, Canada.
Oh, so you're up in Canada. Okay.
What?
Where exactly Nova Scotia? So I'm in northern Wisconsin. Where exactly is that for me then? How is that, north, east, or west?
That's a good question, man. It's sad that we don't know our own geography and we're,
All right.
neighbors, right? You look that up quickly, man. Shits and giggles and for entertainment reasons, right?
Right. I mean, I'll continue the story, I guess, just to
Yeah.
fill it up here. So basically, so so yeah, so I reckon more so it snapped me out of like my dumbfoundedness, my, what I call it is my unconscious extrovert. I was a very unconscious extrovert, just kind of speaking my mind, like or
Yeah.
speaking my mind, doing whatever everyone else does, whatever I see, I believe. Like killing animals, eating animals, meat tastes good. Oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Tastes good. I love it. Certain things like that, like whatever. Dairy, all that stuff, and like, oh, that's what I did, and like, and now basically, so once I came to the recollection, I started to realize kind of what I was doing with killing animals and everything. I was like, man, I can't kill animals anymore. And then for weeks, I almost starved. Then finally, I started to figure out like, oh, they make like plant-based meats and this meat, and that meat, chicken nuggets and burgers and whatever. Then I started to like grill up and do this and do whatever. Then I started like, wow, I was like, oh, holy crap, there's so much better food. And then so I ate more like a actual processed like plant-based meat,
Hmm.
like that kind of stuff, like fake meat, and more of that, mostly all of that. And then like, now though, um I probably eat like, I would say around, I would say around, just throw numbers out, I would say I'm about an 80/20 diet wise. And 80/20, I mean 80/20 by like 80%
Plant based.
raw.
Okay.
That
Well, I thought you were gonna say 80% plant based.
Oh no, 80, no, 80/20, 80% raw food. So raw, actual, like,
Yeah.
raw, fruit. I I just have like a bunch of raspberries, blueberries, bananas, whatever. Like, I got like oranges, whatever, or fruit. Basically raw food. So anything that's like not processed or cooked over 112 degrees. So as long as it's like, so like bananas, whatever, like anything raw, or like anything that's not like heated over 112 degrees. After 112 degrees, it starts to lose its volition, its will, its new well, yet alone its nutrients and minerals. Those start to diminish as
Well, right,
well,
right. Yeah.
but it'll lose its actual physical charge. So its actual physical charge. We are a battery. We are. You can go check us out. You go pull out your multimeter. Go see what you are.
I
Pull
know,
out your
right?
multimeter. Make sure you stick it in the ground though. Don't put it in. Don't stick it in the one at the top. Put it in the ground.
Yeah.
uh, I don't even want to like say all that anyway. Don't even listen to me. Don't do any of that. Uh, so we're usually about 1 to 2 volts. We have 1 to 2 volts. So we have a physical charge or a battery. So you want to make sure you're putting the right fuel in the battery so it's actually having the best charge, and that's why you eat plants. So 80/20. Back to that. So 80% raw fuel. So I try to eat, nuts, seeds, whatever, legumes, plants, whatever, all as much not cooked as you can. Like I use my Vitamix a lot. I throw a lot in there. So instead of eating a salad, I'll throw all the greens in there with some apples and whatever, and I'll
Mhm.
blend it all. So hemp seed, check, chia seed, flax seed, whatever,
Taking
good
fiber, yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
And so I'll throw all that in there, and then like 80/20. So I like say 20% like actual like chicken nuggets, um, beef stuff, but not actual any plants. Fake chicken, fake beef. I don't eat any. Uh, I don't eat any animal anything. I don't even eat honey. Actually, as a matter of fact, I try to make it a big point not to eat honey as well because like I do. I man, when like you start thinking about the bee population is like cuts down every year like 50% this year. Then next year cuts in half by like 50%. It's that crazy. Like it's been happening like cut in half every year for
Exactly.
many years.
Shoot,
It,
Patrick. For some reason, I don't know why, it's going to kick us off in 10 minutes. I think it's
oh
because
really?
we tried to add two of us in there, like, from different sources. So we got
Uh,
like 10 minutes. It's going to be a dick. This happened before I had Troy Casey on here. You probably know him with Certified Health. Not there on YouTube, right?
oh yeah, I think I have. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's been on and wants to podcast again, but yeah, sorry, dude. I hate to crush this on you, and we just talked about condensing and trying to make smaller segments of your story. But what we can do is also do it in two parts. So we'll have 10 minutes to kind of like draw it to an end, and then connect it and re-continue here on the second attempt, if you will.
For sure, for sure. I mean,
Okay, buddy.
I can maybe like try to like figure out ways to condense it more too. Like
Yeah.
that sounds good. I mean, so should we go then? We're
Yeah.
going.
No. Carry on. You got 9 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, 9 minutes. All right. um,
No rush.
um, right on, right on. Basically, so I try to get some end here, which it doesn't ever end, but still. All right, so I basically I smacked myself upset that damn, wrecked my motorcycle, should have died. Then I had to like heal every part of my body, and I had to start thinking, oh, how to fuel the body properly. I mean, if you have an automotive car outside, and I put, we put a quarter tank of diesel in it and 3/4 of gasoline. It's full
It's not
tank.
gonna operate well
I mean, right? Is it gonna run?
for a moment.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, I don't know. To be honest with you, I have an automotive and diesel degree, and I honestly don't know. Like, definitely a little bit for sure, but like a quarter tank, half tank. I was thinking like quarter tank, half tank, right around in there. I don't really know. Anyways, point being here, um, is if you fuel the body, if you put actual just gasoline in the body, it's going to operate correctly. And when I say operate correctly, I mean it's going to think better, it's going to
Mm.
shit better, it's going to piss better, it's going to sleep better, it's going to like think better. Everything works completely better. Like your vision works better. Like my vision is like definitely like easy 20/20 now. I'm like I've had eyeball surgery and a couple of things. I'm like it's crazy. Like I'm like you can everything just works better because like you got to think about like I mean okay so like where does protein come from? Let's just say that out there. Everyone's always the old school are always protein this beef eating burger whatever.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
get that all fucked up, man. And they
yeah
brought
for
kind
one
of light to that with Game Changers on Netflix, right?
right. I forgot you seen that. I was
Oh,
literally just
yeah,
thinking that. I was like
that's
Matt,
insane.
tell me you seen Game Changers,
Dude.
but yeah. Yeah, but like just think about like right away. It's just think this. Okay, where does protein come from? Okay, well let's just clarify this. Okay, well the animal eats the plant and then you eat the animal. What? And you think that's where protein comes from? Okay, yeah, you're getting some protein. Definitely. Okay, but what else are you getting? You're also getting whatever else is in the animal. And
Inflammation,
no, what
bacteria,
else? Yeah, dude. And aside from that,
hormones,
you're getting
glyphosate.
yeah, you're getting. I forget what it is. It's on I forget what it is. MT something or whatever it's called. A certain molecule or whatever. What it does is that actually hurts too, and like inflammation. It literally clogs your entire system, and you just become like uh everything. It suppresses everything, and you suppresses everything electrically within your body, and like it's like just
Yeah.
clogs it all up. So you're thinking everything just doesn't work. It's like fogging up your brain. It's like brain fog. I mean, it's just not working good at all. And on top of that, yet alone, like you're not gonna get near as good out of it either. Like, you're taking the animal's life. The protein comes from the plant. So if you were just went to the plant straight up, you'd have been good. But so you're killing the animal for taste, even though you're seasoning it with plants. You're seasoning that piece of meat with plants to make it taste better. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you just want to going straight to the plant, straight to the plant, and
The
then
main
like,
source instead of the middleman, like, right?
yeah, cut
Like a
all the
drug
middleman.
deal.
Cut all the middleman. It's like, dude, like
Unnecessary.
I don't go by like any terminology like vegan or any of that or
Yeah.
plant based. Plant
Total
based kind of
fuck.
makes sense with diet, but like I don't say that. I'm just consciously aware. I'm consciously aware of how I live my life. I'm consciously aware of how Patrick runs his meat suit, how I run my meat suit, my vector, how I harm others, and how I um and we got how much time we got here?
Oh, we got just under 5 minutes, buddy.
5 minutes. All right. So one thought I just had earlier, which I've had a couple of these, but like I have them a lot, but they're always more of like more. I have the thought, and I feel like, oh yeah, that for sure. And then I'm like, and then my ego, my meat suit, my brain.
I gotta stop you though, Patrick, with the meat suit. A vegan referring to the vessel as a meat suit. I get it because it is essentially meat that could be thrived upon by, pests
Right.
and whatnot, especially when you die and decay, then you got all kinds of critters eating at you. But I think too that I understand the idea behind veganism or whatever label you want. We'll just say non, meat eater type deal, right?
Conscious,
Yeah.
conscious.
Well, yeah. What I find though is it's the intent. I think we discussed this on Messenger. The intent before the action. So if my intention is to bless my food and ensure that it's delivered and derived in my body and dispersed so that I can totally optimize the shit of the nutrients, minerals, vitamins, and all that, I think that has a by far better effect than saying food is good, food is bad. You know what I mean? Because that's when you get kind of twisted up in parallels that don't really have to be.
True.
It almost
True.
becomes irrelevant. Yeah.
True. True. But there's definitely a but in there.
Yeah.
True. True. But
This is
to
why
make
dogs, I gotta say quickly, I will forget. This is why dogs and people in general, well, no, actually, humans will eat out of despair and all that shit. But if you look at animals, man, when they're stressed out, they will not eat because they won't be able to utilize that food,
for
regardless of
sure.
how nutritional, that the value is carried in it. The body just can't break it down when it's stressed out, right? It's in the fight or flight mode, and everything's fucking wrecked. And it doesn't matter how pure the food is at that point. Yeah.
Right. Right. No, what I was gonna say though is what it really is though when you look at it from a macro lens, from the farthest
Mhm.
perspective away, when you really look at what it is you're saying when you say that, because trust me, I've talked to a few older gentlemen, at least one, where they bless the animal, they kill the animal, whatever, they kill the deer in the woods, whatever, they put their hands on it, they bless the animal, thank you for giving me your life, this and that, whatever. So I get it. Long story short though, what it really is, all of it is it's called it's like escapism for the ego, for the mind. It's escapism. It's a way to where if I say it's this, or if I think it's this, if my mind thinks it's this, if I call it, you know what, if I bless this animal, if I bless this whatever. If I say it's okay, you know what, you're doing a great job for me. If I do that, then I feel better. I actually, if I say that to the animal after I kill it, I feel better after I ate it and everything happened because I blessed its life. I feel better. It's what it is. It's self deceivement. You're tricking yourself. You're tricking yourself to feel better that way. Like you're like getting whatever dopamine hit out of it or whatever you are mentally, if you are getting one of those, whatever. So you're self-deceiving. You're tricking yourself to,
Okay, well, wait a minute. Before we
all
run
right,
out of time, because we got a minute and
yeah, yeah,
33
go ahead,
seconds, I
go
want
ahead.
to say quickly that you can have the same relations with a plant, dude, and plant-based foods. Like, I can grow plants that are edible and have complete relations with them. I do. I do Reiki on my plants. I feed them. I talk to them. I nurture them.
Okay,
And
for
now I'm
sure.
about to eat them. That's the same thing because in retrospect to this, and it seems like that everything is a living organism anyway. So it goes right back to what I just said about intent. You know,
Send,
uh,
send
this isn't like I don't want to crush anybody's
There's no
ideology,
rush,
right?
man. I'm this kid. So this, I got this all
Yeah,
day. Send,
I love
keep
it,
going.
man. Just that even ratio of exchanging energy and ideas on these opinions. Like, and we're not bashing each other. It's just trying to come
Oh,
to an
yeah.
understanding, not even a conclusion. I'll just leave it at an understanding from your perspective and mine. Yeah,
Oh, definitely,
that's
bro. That's
awesome.
all it is, man. Absolutely. You
Yeah.
know, absolutely. But I mean, like, where was even where were we going there? I have no idea.
We're going around in circles, but
Right, right.
realistically,
I mean,
yeah.
let's just try to wrap it up. Kind of where I've been, kind of did. So essentially,
We got like
so
20 seconds, dude. Sorry.
oh,
Well,
okay. Well,
yeah.
never mind, never mind.
Well,
All right,
it's
bro.
just less than a minute, but what I'll do is end it and just kick off, and we'll do part two, okay?